There exists a profound, often overlooked connection between Jesus Christ and the spiritual traditions of India. This connection reveals itself through historical, mystical, and metaphysical lenses, intertwining two of the world's most influential religious paths in ways that are as inspiring as they are thought-provoking. The story begins with the Magi, wise men from the East, who visited Jesus at his birth. Traditions identify these sages as not merely travelers from Persia or Arabia, but actually as Hindu rishis, mystics who hailed from the Indian subcontinent, and their journey was no ordinary pilgrimage. They were guided by the mystical star of Bethlehem. The verse specifies that the wise men said, "We have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him." In the traditions of India, the human body is often seen as a microcosm of the universe, with directions mapped symbolically onto it. The north and south axes refer to the upper and lower parts of the spine. The directions of east and west, conversely, relate with inward or outward experience. Specifically, east generally relates with the spiritual eye, or third eye, located at the forehead between the eyebrows, a gateway to divine insight and inner illumination. The west, in contrast, symbolizes the outward pull towards materialism and sensory engagement with the external world. The star in the east, then, is not just an external celestial phenomenon, but reveal that the Magi were guided by the inner illumination and knowing of Christ's arrival, and brought gifts of deep symbolic and cultural meaning. But if that doesn't convince you, an even more direct connection here is that for thousands of years, gold, frankincense, and myrrh were traditional gifts in India used to celebrate the birth of newborns. The Magi's reverence for Jesus marked the beginning of a remarkable exchange between the teachings of the East and West. Beyond this, there are actual accounts of Jesus's time in India, which come from a variety of sources, including Tibetan manuscripts first discovered by Russian war correspondent Nikolai Notovich in the late 19th century. In his book, The Unknown Life of Jesus Christ, published in 1894, Notovich claimed to have found records at the Hemis Monastery in Ladakh, Tibet, that detailed Jesus's journey to the East. These texts, written in Pali, referred to Jesus as Isa and described a fascinating story, almost all of which was further and later corroborated by the channeled revelations of Edgar Cayce. From these accounts, we learn that young Jesus's journey beyond his home began when he sought to avoid the conventions of marriage and societal expectations. And so he joined a caravan of merchants and embarked on a transformative pilgrimage. He first spent 6 years in India, including time in Puri, a revered site dedicated to Lord Krishna, where he studied the Vedic scriptures and the spiritual teachings of the Upanishads. He delved deeply into the principles of nonviolence, universal love, and self-realization, concepts that are cornerstones of both Indian spirituality and his later ministry in Judea. His teachings on love thy neighbor, humility, and the inner kingdom of God reflect the influence of these ancient spiritual lessons. However, it is also said that he got into some trouble, challenging the rigid orthodoxy that had been building up. Isa rebuked the Brahmin priests for upholding the caste system. Isa would also violate their customs by giving teachings to the lower castes. He is seen calling out and belittling their fall into idolatrous ways, and then barely escaped India with his life. After that, he traveled to Nepal and Tibet, where he spent 6 years studying Buddhist sutras, which we find relevant to his later teachings on selflessness and the renunciation of worldly attachments. The manuscripts also describe Jesus preaching and teaching in other regions, such as Persia, as he made his way back to Judea. His reputation as a holy man grew, attracting both admiration and resistance. Along the journey, he is reported to have condemned human and animal sacrifices, sun worship, and the dualism of good and evil, and the Zoroastrian priesthood. The Zoroastrian priests seized him and abandoned him to the wilderness to be devoured by wild beasts, but he escaped anyway. Notovich's claims were controversial and faced criticism, but they ignited widespread interest in the idea of a hidden chapter of Jesus's life. But Notovich's discovery was not the only evidence of Jesus's time in India. Other accounts, including those by Swami Abhedananda and the writings of Paramahansa Yogananda, reference ancient texts and oral traditions from India and Tibet. Yogananda in particular emphasized the universality of Jesus's teachings, which he believed were deeply aligned with the yogic science of self-realization. While skeptics have questioned the authenticity of these manuscripts and accounts, they align with long-standing traditions in India that Jesus, known as Isa, visited the region. Hindu and Buddhist oral traditions speak of a great soul from the West who came to both learn and teach. The idea is further supported by historical trade routes that connected Judea to India, making such a journey quite plausible. This, of course, is not to suggest that he learned everything that he taught in India, as avatars come with their own divine wisdom, understanding, and purpose. However, spiritual scholars and masters suggest that Jesus refined his understanding of universal truth during this period. He most likely attained mastery of yoga, which he later distilled into parables and teachings for his followers upon his return to Judea. Today, some people would claim that Jesus' teachings go against that of other religions. But as we have seen, this simply isn't the case. His teachings of inward prayer, fasting, and seeking the kingdom of God within bear striking parallels to yoga's meditative practices. Just as yoga emphasizes self-realization and inner transformation, Jesus taught that true spirituality is found in communion with the divine within oneself. The Gospel of John and the Book of Revelation especially contain symbolic language that align with yoga's inner science, revealing the profound depth of Jesus's wisdom. Plus, the word yoga itself means union, speaking to union with the divine. The convergence of Eastern and Western traditions is not merely a possibility, but a divine necessity in fulfilling the highest ideals of humanity. Both traditions hold the potential to complement and elevate each other, Eastern spiritual depth harmonizing with Western material pragmatism. Without the spiritual ideals of the East, material advancements can lead to selfishness, conflict, and a disconnection from higher truth. Similarly, without the practicality of the West, spiritual aspirations can remain ungrounded and disconnected from the realities of life. Together, these paths create a harmonious union that bridges the inner and outer aspects of human existence, fostering peace, understanding, and global unity. This harmony, however, requires a shift in perspective, one that moves beyond cultural and national identities to embrace the shared spiritual heritage of all humankind. Jesus' teachings stands as a universal example of this integration. His message transcends the boundaries of creed and culture, encouraging the realization of our divine nature and the expression of universal love. By shedding the divisions created by ignorance and prejudice, we recognize our true identity as children of God, united in purpose and destiny. Jesus himself embodied this ideal, blending the spiritual wisdom of the East with the moral and social engagement of the West. In a world increasingly fragmented by materialism and ideological divides, the synthesis of East and West offers a path towards collective enlightenment. It reminds us that spiritual truth is not bound by geography or tradition, but is the eternal essence uniting all. By integrating the depth of Eastern spirituality with the dynamic expression of Western ideals, humanity can realize its highest potential. This sacred union, exemplified in the teachings of Jesus and other great masters, is not only a call to personal transformation, but also a blueprint for a more harmonious and spiritually attuned world. Hey, thank you for watching. You know, we talk a lot about the value of meditation on this channel. It's something that many traditions encourage, and even many of Yeshua's sayings also coincide with. Personally, I practice daily, and I can't express how transformative it's been for me. But I know many people struggle to meditate or deepen their practice, so I've been exploring tools to help. One of my favorites is the Muse brainwave headset. It's a powerful device that provides real-time feedback on your brain activity, heart rate, breathing, and body movements to guide your meditation practice. It helps train your mind to focus, reduce stress, and enhances self-awareness. It's backed by research and is used by over 500,000 people to improve focus, calm, and sleep quality. If you're looking to take your meditation to the next level, please check out the Muse brainwave headset using the link below and get a massive discount on your order. Normally, it's 15% off, but until the end of January, you can get 20%. It could be just the tool that you need to unlock your potential and connect with deeper clarity. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video.